Have a shot. Have a shot. 30 seconds. I'm on. Have a shot. 30 seconds. I'm on right now. 30 seconds. I'm on right now.
Are you rethinking the United States' relationship with NATO, possibly getting out? Or
well, I'm disappointed in NATO that we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help us, I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. I don't need Congress for that decision. As you probably know, I can make that decision myself. I'd work with some very smart people. And I'd always deal with Congress anyway, but I don't need Congress for that decision. But, you know, when you say rethink, I have nothing currently in mind, but I will say that I'm not exactly thrilled when we help them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in one day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world.
Welcome, people. Got there eventually. In fact, no. You can see the breaking news in the chats. Clocks went back 7 minutes. We're right on time for the Brews at 10 on my left eye. Yeah, seriously though, the broadcast software wasn't playing ball. Really wasn't. But we're here now. Let's brew this thing, people. And yes, better get going. Make sure you hit thumbs up as you join us on stream. There's a poll as well. People have been speculating. Obviously, we mentioned this on stream on Sunday. Put a video out about it as to whether Benjamin Netanyahu's dead, alive. perhaps injured, incapacitated, whatever. Let us know by voting in the poll. You might want to hesitate because, amongst other features, stories, we do have more information, more updates. So it will be more for the fowls of My Left Private Eye to come a bit later on stream. Also, some developing news which happened earlier today. David Curry, who featured in the supermarket actions at the weekend, which were featured, a friend of mine, fellow Take Back Power supporter as well, was arrested earlier today, currently in custody. I do have, and believe me, the very latest on that. But we'll be taking a look at some other things as well. Trump's been on a good old rant again. He's had another dig at Starmer. Plus, in talking about the situation in the Middle East, yeah, we've got some of the latest clangers for you. Yes, so lots to come. Once again, apologies for the delayed start. A few tech issues. I think we've got them hopefully all resolved now. Okay, yeah, good. Let's give a few shout outs to folk in the chat. Divinia, nice to see you. Big Jerry, a very good evening. How do you brew? Floor Snake with us. Thanks for the watermelons there as well. Graham Turner, nice to see you. Have you changed your picture? It's been stuck on people's handles for so long now. I've gotten used to quite a lot of them that aren't immediately obvious. There's something different there though. I think it's the picture. Well, I can't make the picture bigger. Let's not get distracted with that though. Great to see you nonetheless. Odin Allfather's also with us. Solidarity, one and all. Speaking of Solidarity, the launch very hastily into the latest members roster even. 196 now, dip below the 200 again, unfortunately, but thank you very much to those of you who've renewed, gifted to others recently, and helped to support the channel in a myriad of ways, including super chats, super thanks, super stickers, buy me a coffee page. There's a link for that in the description, by the way. You can check that out on any content. And do give us a share as well. If you're watching on mobile, please do consider using some of your hype points to support us here at My Left Eye. And thanks to those of you who have, can see some support from hype points on recent content. Had a video out yesterday as well, of course, since I was last with you myself on stream. The support is awesome, as is the audience, the good old brew crew. So those are the 196 now. Thank you very much, everybody. Alright, we'll kick off with a comedy clip in just a moment. I think I've done all of the self-promotion and thank yous. Procedural business taken care of. I need to get started, so... this is the latest offering from Broken News, which features on the channel Larry and Paul, highly recommended.
Welcome to Broken News. Well, Begorra and Bejesus, the words on everyone's lips as the world celebrates St. Patrick's Day. Our reporter and real-life Irishman, Cormac McCormack, joins us live from Dublin with more. Cormac, top of the morning to you.
It's 2 p.m.
Yeah, and you are actually Irish. That's true, isn't it? Where are you from?
Well, my family's from a place called Portlaoise. It's a small town in County Laois. It's in the centre of the Republic.
Is that near Dublin?
Yes, it's near Dublin, yeah, if you want.
Oh, great. Well, today, Irish eyes are smiling. The Emerald Isle rejoices. River dance. What's the crack? What will you be doing to celebrate? Will you be dancing without moving your arms? Sort of like...
No, I'll be meeting up with some friends, maybe raising a glass of Jameson.
Will you be splitting the G?
No. That's a marketing gimmick to make you drink Guinness faster.
Oh.
So no, I won't be splitting the G, I won't be putting on a massive stupid green hat, I won't be painting my face, I won't be wearing a t-shirt that says "Kiss me, I'm Irish", I won't be pouring green dye into a river for some reason, I won't be doing any... Have you just turned the studio green?
Yeah, I just thought it would be...
Turn it back to blue now. You promised in the office in the morning meeting this morning that this report would be a serious look at how St. Patrick's Day is celebrated around the world, not another stereotypically infantile take on Irishness with a capital O.
Yeah. Well, you know, from Tom Cruise to Robert De Niro, many people claim Irish heritage, don't they? And let's face it, today everyone's a little bit Irish, aren't they?
No. Can I be really clear? Everyone is not a little bit fucking Irish.
Fucking Irish.
I swear to God.
Well, sure, you'll be having a packet of potatoes and a few jars. You'll be after a few...
What did you do the accent? Look, you said we'd do a serious bit on St. Patrick's Day. Are you even interested in the history of it at all? I mean, I had a whole thing ready. Do you even know what it's about?
Potato?
Are you aware how offensive that is?
Oh, fucking hell.
I don't actually. I don't even know where it comes from.
Exactly. It's like going up to someone from Hiroshima and going, "Oh, atomic bomb!"
Oh no.
You can't do that.
He did a bad news.
That's not...
He's done a bad news, everybody. Oh no, he can't do that.
Cormac, thank you.
He's cancelled.
What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
They've given an Irish touch to the theme music as well. Excellent, excellent. Well, yes, the year is flying by. Is it not? St. Patrick's Day already upon us. Doesn't time fly? Awesome stuff from Larry and Paul there. Shout out to any Irish in the chat as well, of course. Solidari-Tea with our friends across the Irish Sea. Whether you're celebrating with a brew, a quality live stream, or another tipple. Andrew McCallum, awesome to see you. Welcome to the chat. Quick look at the latest in the poll before we dive into stories. We've got 64% say he's still alive and well. Only 9% think he might be deceased at 27%. I think he is possibly injured or incapacitated in some other fashion. Maybe he's stuck at the bottom of a well. I think that'll count. Right, first up. Yes, the latest news is that David Curry of Take Back Power, you might have seen him on Jeremy Vine recently as well. We're going to be taking a look at that. Was arrested earlier today. We're going to see what's happening. First of all, though, a quick review. We'll take a look at the post-action testimony that I filmed on Saturday after the action. Just get that queued up here. Just got to load things up one by one, lest I overload the software. Make sure I've got the compressed ones as well. Yeah. The Canary also reported this. There was journalists from the Canary there as well.
Two sets.
So a quick refresher with this, and then we'll get into the latest. So this is from Saturday after the food redistribution action in Manchester. Just make sure I can hear this in my headphones. It is right next to a railway line as well, so apologies, there's a couple of trains passed during the testimony. But the message is what's most important, and a very good message as well it is.
Come on.
Get heavy this, like.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm having a nightmare with this. Right, just, that's not working. Right, if you want to just go, mate. Yeah.
Hello, my name's David, and today we take action with Take Back Power because whilst the super rich rake in record profits, 4 million children in this country are growing up in food poverty. This is ridiculous, especially when we know that the solutions are so simple. We need to tax the rich. 3/4 of the population know this and want this, yet our government isn't acting. And so today we're taking a stand, going into Tesco behind us, whose CEO, Ken Murphy, earns 430 times the amount of his average employee. And we've peacefully and non-violently liberated food and essential goods off the shelves to redistribute to those most in need in our communities. If you want to take action against the super rich too, get yourself to takebackpower.net and get involved.
Right in time before the next train passed. Awesome from David there. Yeah, just as a quick reminder as well, there were 4 actions, all of which were very successful. None of the teams were stopped by the police or security, and then went on to redistribute the food to food banks, or in various manners, I should say. That was on Saturday. Then yesterday, David appeared on Jeremy Vine to explain a bit more about why this action was taken, obviously, since it was announced. A bit of kickback from trolls and whatnot, and of course mainstream media with it. So let's see David's appearance. He's a top guy as well, David. I've known him a few years or so now.
Activists from Take Back.
Again, apologies. Well, I just have to quickly monitor my headphones. Owen Jones also on the panel, as well as Jacob Rees-Mogg's wife, whatever. Yeah. Bride of fucking Frankenstein, Bride of Dracula, whatever. Well, of course, it's absolutely awful, isn't it? David there, in the middle. So let's see what's happening.
Power launched a mass shoplifting stunt across the UK on Saturday. Protesters entered supermarkets and filled boxes with groceries and other necessities, but then left the shops without paying. The group said boxes were successfully liberated and taken to a local food bank drop-off point. So, what do you think? They were doing it for other people, not for themselves. Do you support them, or do you say it's stealing like anything else? Joining us now is David Curry from Take Back Power. So you were in Manchester?
Yes, I was.
And you did the theft as well?
I peacefully and non-violently took the food off the shelves and redistributed it to those most in need in my community.
And taking it to a food bank or what?
Yeah, that was we took it to food banks, yeah. But the real story here is that this country went
just stick on what I'm asking, sorry, just for otherwise we're going to go too wide. When you took it to the food bank, did you tell people there that if they took the food away, they'd be handling stolen goods?
I'll tell you exactly what happened at the food bank, because I was there the whole time. First of all, the location of the food bank wasn't immediately obvious. We had to ask a member of staff. They themselves didn't know where it was. Had to ask another member of staff, and in doing so, we overheard them say, "There's some people here with boxes of food and cameras. Where's the food bank?" They didn't ask any questions. They just pointed it out to us. That's exactly how it went down. You can take it from yours truly.
I think the real story here is that
just stick on the questions, David.
Running out of control. Right?
We'll get to that. I promise we'll get. But please just answer the question. Did you tell them they'd be handling stolen goods?
Look, we have 4 million children in this country growing up in food poverty. Okay.
Why won't you
ask
the
questions? At the same time as this, we've got the super rich raking in record profits.
But I'm going to ask you about that. But I just want to find out what you did at the weekend. You stole the food. You took it to a food bank. You told them it was stolen, did you?
No, we didn't tell them it was stolen.
Okay. Does that not put them in an awkward position?
Well, they don't know that it was stolen.
No.
Oh, so they then can't be done.
Criminally liable.
I think they might be actually. But
if they don't know, they're not.
Is it true that later on you went back and paid?
No, it's absolutely not. No, I don't know why the Met came out.
There've been some reports that there's.
I've not actually heard that one. No, that didn't happen. That definitely didn't happen.
Somebody went back and paid. I just wanted to check it wasn't. All right, I promise we'll get to your bigger message. I'm not trying to blanket, but
And if you're interested, we reckon it was around or less than £100 worth of goods, maybe.
As far as the actual incident is concerned, he's a nice guy. He's done something for other people. What could be wrong with that?
It's an ego trip to get publicity for a campaign, and it is breaking the law.
Nuziata Rees-Mogg. Yeah, that's the full name of the dead-eyed ghoul here.
And it should be treated as any other crime.
But you haven't been arrested, have you?
No, but just the other week we had the Met Police turn up to Quakers Meeting House for a non-violence training and arresting 15 people in attendance for conspiracy to commit theft. So the police, I mean,
absolutely.
That's just...
Yeah, that's true. Bridie, who was one of the action takers, at that Quakers Meeting House, was arrested for an action at Parliament Square. One of the Take Back Power members from Manchester. That was a locking on action onto the gates of Parliament Square we're still in the early days of Take Back Power, but that was one of the very, very first stunts.
If you're going to conspire to... we've got to look at shoplifting and what it costs our country. Over every year, It's well over £2 billion it costs our economy.
This is your moment, David,
to
tell
£4 billion
Annunziata
in
why.
total. That's just the stolen goods.
Now we're going to hear the big picture.
We could pay for a lot of things with that money that, in fact, just puts up every normal person's supermarket bill. Every time they go shopping, they are paying the extra cost for those items that are stolen because the shops cannot afford to just hand them out for free. And stealing them only passes...
Yeah, they can't afford things, but they've just happened to have a surplus of billions of pounds that just appeared out of nowhere, but they really strapped. Like, seriously, get in the sea. That's
is on the
ridiculous.
Cost to other people who cannot afford it.
Look, this. Let's put this in perspective, right? We took action in four cities across the country on Saturday. This is a drop in the ocean compared to the billions in profits that companies like Tesco rake in.
Legitimising shoplifting, which is not a legitimate
It's a stunt. It's a stunt.
pastime and does have victims.
What's wrong with Tesco making profits?
Because we have 4 million children in this country growing up in food poverty.
And we have benefits to ensure they can be fed. And we have food banks where people willingly donate goods they have bought.
Owen, where are you on this?
Look, I'm sure you would have been angry at the suffragettes when they were smashing up art galleries, but history judges that, that the great evil of the time was the fact that women were deprived of the right to vote. And in this particular case,
violence
the fact that we are angry...
and law breaking does not justify it.
It's not violent.
It wasn't violence at all. It wasn't violence at all. This is ridiculous. And earlier, just before Owen Jones interjected there, she was doing the food banks are good thing. They clearly aren't a solution to the food inequality that David's talking about. And the more food banks that we have, the more examples that we have of the decay, the rot, the toxic society that we have at the moment.
Hey, we can get elected, we can change the law.
Can I answer? We should reserve our anger at the fact that in one of the richest countries on earth, there are 3 million people who either suffer malnutrition or are at risk for malnutrition. This is about getting your priorities straight. I welcome anything that draws attention to the fact that in a society where we don't have to have a single person in poverty because the amount of wealth being produced by the hard work of millions, which gets sucked into...
This is awesome. For who shot this? This is quality. This is quality stuff. That Jeremy Vine's using. Who could have? This is wow, incredible. Whomever that might have been.
Bank accounts for a tiny few, including supermarket CEOs. What we should end
in Manchester.
A real crime, which is people growing up in poverty, which costs our economy, by the way. That costs our economy so much.
And but we have benefits to ensure that people can eat and heat their homes.
We can't afford.
Seriously though. Back to the conversation. She's still going at it. There's no problem. It's fine. Everyone's got a house. Everyone's warm. Everyone's fed. Food in the bellies. The larders are full. We've got, an overwhelming surplus of food and cash, and we're all going to live until we're 200 years old. I mean, come on. And well. We're talking about this sister. Is it the sister or the wife? I can't even remember because, frankly, I don't much care. But the relative of Jacob Rees-Mogg, unsurprisingly, completely detached from reality. Which, if anybody has bothered to read even a small section of any of Jacob's air quotes history books. Knows that he doesn't have a singular clue about what is going on in this world or what has happened historically in this world as well. So it's no surprise at all.
With the oil prices might change.
Gosh, David, what's happened since the weekend? Have the police been in touch with you?
No, we haven't seen any arrests since the weekend. But do you know what? I wish they would arrest the real criminals, right? Because the super rich, they steal from us.
This was filmed before David was arrested today as well, obviously.
Every single day.
What crime have they committed?
Since COVID, billionaire wealth in this country has more than doubled.
Why is that a crime?
Where's this money coming from? It's coming from the back pockets of ordinary people, ordinary hard-working people up and down this country. And it's a crime because our government is too far in the back pockets of the super rich, of the billionaires, to tax them. And
it's a moral crime. It's a moral crime that people can make vast sums of money. The wealth of the top 1%, 0.1% billionaires is higher than ever.
We've got 150 billionaires.
The butcher and the baker
We've got
do not...
150 billionaires.
Yeah, and while most people in poverty in this country work, by the way,
I think she was trying to interject with some, upper middle class kind of proverb that literally no one has ever heard before, but, it's just a common phrase round our way. Whatever it was that she was trying to interject with. Do you know what I mean? These strange things that come out every now and then, and you're like, what?
Earning their poverty day after day. They work for the likes of supermarkets. Some of those people in supermarkets...
Sister, thank you very much for clearing that up. Sutton Steve in the chat. Nice to see you as well. And we've got JK in the house as well. Shout out to the Irish as well.
End up in food banks themselves, by the way. And instead of sucking all that money into the bank accounts of a tiny few, we should invest it in people and communities so no one is...
By stealing it and adding the cost...
Yeah, I don't know. He's been a bit of a weather vane in the past, hasn't he? Owen Jones, he seems to be certainly thoroughly coming round on a lot more issues, but that is a debate for another time. He was 100% correct in that point there.
To everyone's shopping
people
bill.
said this about the suffragettes, and again,
and
who was vindicated?
They were not vindicated.
But there is...
They were.
There's an argument that what David says that Tesco's making those profits from selling food is profiteering, and supermarkets have got an inbuilt monopoly.
Yeah,
that's the case, isn't it?
The butcher,
oh my God, Christ! Call an ambulance! I think I'm going to have a bastard stroke. Jeremy Vine seems to have gotten the point. Really? He gets it. He gets it. Yeah, they do have a monopoly on the distribution of food, which is a necessity. Call me crazy, but I don't think that anybody, any company or individual should be able to turn a profit off of something that is essential for living. Not comfort, not luxury, but essential living. And I include, housing, food, a clean water supply, the ability to stay warm during seasons with lower temperatures. Is that in the 21st century? In the 21st century, as opposed to having these vast monopolies and a very small amount of people controlling everything, hoarding all of the wealth, the top few families in the world owning more and having more wealth than all of the bottom 50% of the total population of the planet, which would be going on some 4.5 billion people versus a few families. It's not right, and apparently even Jeremy Vine can get this. But Rees-Mogg here looks absolutely appalled at that suggestion.
Baker, the candlestick maker, do not provide you with...
This is going to be the proverb that she was trying to get out earlier when Owen Jones was talking. The butcher, the baker. Go on then.
Monopoly. That's the case, isn't it?
The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker do not provide you with light, heat and food in order for the goodness of their hearts. They do it so that they can feed their own families. The big supermarkets are exactly the same on a bigger scale.
Well, yeah.
A Victorian era nursery rhyme she's referring to there. Yeah, really grippingly relative. What saw the suggestion? Well, that was complete bollocks. I don't even have to go into it.
That market...
Too big, he says. Sean is in Cardiff. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
What do you think of what David's done?
I think it's disgusting. I think he should be jailed.
Jailed?
Yes. what you've got to remember, these supermarkets are working on very, very tight margins. The likes of Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda's.
What, like... It's so tight, we've only got billions to spare. That's so tight. Sean is probably a manager of Tesco's or something in Cardiff.
If they drop their food prices 10%, they go out of business.
Yep.
Oh, all right, that's
Absolutely.
fine. Were you involved, David, in the manure at the Ritz Christmas tree?
No, I wasn't.
Were you involved in spreading custard on the crown?
Right, I'll be coming on to this action, the Ritz action, in just a moment, actually, as well.
Jules?
No, but there were amazing actions which...
Well, there's the manure one. I mean, listen, I'm not... This, in a way, well, I say I'm not complaining. I mean, actually, obviously, this is a criminal thing, isn't it? Because you're damaging... That guy must be the doorman there in the black coat. He's suddenly realised what's happening.
That's not David pouring the manure onto the foot of the tree. There were two of them, but neither of them are David. David is particularly tall, so he generally stands out. This is from late last year. This was the first official, one of the first official stunts as well. Do you remember this one?
Because he can smell it. So, and what was the message there?
It's the same message. It's that inequality in this country is out of control. The solutions are simple. We need to tax the rich. 3/4 of the population want to do it, but unfortunately we have a political establishment and full of privately educated people, not too dissimilar to yourself.
There's absolutely no one in the cabinet who went to private school. That's just absolute top.
And they are incapable of facing up to the magnitude of this crisis.
This is class warfare. This is not economically viable.
They're waging class warfare from above. That's the problem.
Could I just respond to Sean quickly?
It's the first time in history that the cabinet is not full of privately schooled. For the very first time in the history of a 600-year-old parliament, for God's sake.
Sean, what's tight about £3 billion of profit from Tesco last year? Doesn't feel like tight profit margins to me, right? And do you know what? This is
our pensioners' pensions. And would you take it away from them?
The CEO of Tesco, Ken Murphy, made £9.23 million last year. When people in this country...
It's a lot. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad. Might even be giving Laura Kussenberg a run for her money.
Cannot afford to feed their children. That's what we should be angry at.
Sean in Cardiff, thank you. Maddie in West Yorkshire, hello.
Yeah.
Do you agree with what they did?
Absolutely not, no. I think he should be arrested.
So, you work in a supermarket?
I work in a supermarket, yes.
I wonder where the security was on those, because they would have been taking them out, no trouble.
There was someone at the security desk when we were walking in that it was literally not there when leaving the premises. It's in the footage and everything. That answers that one, Jeremy. She wasn't. Mandy from West Yorkshire wasn't there. I don't know why he's asking Mandy from West Yorkshire. She was on the other side of the Pennines at the time. But yeah, I wasn't. I was there.
That's a different issue with security.
Yeah.
I wonder, does this guy actually realise how much free donation food that supermarkets you actually give?
To food banks?
Because without the supermarket giving to the food banks will be non-existent.
How much do they waste,
that's
though,
a good point,
Mandy?
David. This is kind of, they are doing this anyway.
Yeah, Crimea River, Tesco giving food to food banks whilst they're raking £3 billion of profit. I mean, come on, let's put this in perspective. And also, your main accusation here is, you should be arrested, you've broken the law.
River.
News alert, right? Throughout history, people have broken the law, and that's why we have some of the most fundamental rights that we have today.
Also provides...
That's true. You must know that's true, though. Lots of our rights.
It doesn't mean this one's right, though.
Tesco also manages to provide the cheapest food. It keeps winning mainstream, lowest cost supermarket. It beat Asda this year. There's a chart every year, which means that people can afford food. If you have to shop in small local shops, the cost is an awful lot more.
Let's bring in Jerry in Devon. I gather you support David, Jerry?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, on the one hand, it's a symbolic gesture. On the other hand, it's a practical one. I mean, we live in a country with inequality rates growing by by the year. If you look at this young man whose name I've just managed to forget, his generation his generation are the first post-World War II to be looking at their living standards actually dropping in comparison to their parents. You know,
I don't know if that it's a very good point, but I don't think you're campaigning for Gen Z, are you? You're campaigning more for people who are poor of all ages.
I'm campaigning for people across this country who are struggling to get by, whilst we have a super rich getting richer and richer and richer. It's got to the point, right, Jeremy, where we have 50 of the richest families in this country holding more wealth than half of the population.
Inequality's actually never been lower than current.
And if you're, that is completely false. That is completely false.
The top 50 families. But this is like, let's get Roman Abramovich to leave, and then you sort the problem, right? It doesn't change anything, does it?
No, you have a different...
Go on, Jerry.
Well, I just want to say that the fact that David here isn't redistributing, so to speak, directly for the sake of his friends, but doing so on a wider societal basis, absolutely just legitimates what they're doing even more so, because they've become more aware. They are a generation who's becoming more and more aware of the inequalities that do surround us. And if I could just put this on a wider point, my son is at a university which I won't name in a big southwest city. Absolutely full of students, with some of the most, with the fastest rising rents in the southwest. Stealing and shoplifting from supermarkets amongst his friends, and also on a much wider basis amongst all students, is absolutely endemic. It's everywhere. On social media, we're always shown these horrible little.
Well, is that supposed to make us think it's okay?
No. I think it's just showing you that what this young chap is up to here is very much part of a much broader, as a Miss Lady Annuncia Mogg would think, problem. Other people might think of as a sort of very short-term solution.
I'm amazed. It's about getting our priorities straight. That's the point. I mean, look, this is
legitimising crime.
Yeah.
If we consider because we could talk on TV.
I was just noting Jeremy Vine's face there as Jerry was completely on point there as well, and now it's 3-on-2. Now the balance has switched, of course. Owen Jones in agreement with David, as well as the caller.
About how 3 million people in this country suffer malnutrition or at risk of it. That is, you must accept a damning indictment of our society.
It is legitimising
That's what we should be angry about, not a bit of shoplifting. People are scared. It is why people who work in shops are terrified, and it's undermining the safety of our society. If you say it's fine to shoplift, other people think it's fine to shoplift. They will use excuses, and I'm afraid the law is the law.
I think there's a bigger terror, which will be parents not knowing, how they can afford to feed themselves and the kids and pay the rest of the bills. That's the bigger terror. That's the real terror in society. Come on, this is hyperbolic nonsense. What Rees-Moggery?
And it should be applied equally.
You talk about being scared, right? All of your viewers today have seen the videos of us doing the action on Saturday. What was scary about that, right? We were so peaceful. But can I just say, can I finish my point? Some people in this country go to bed scared that they won't be able to feed their kids. And we've got a political establishment full of people like yourself who have no idea what that is like.
If you wanted a benefit system where you had vouchers that could only be spent on food to ensure you could feed your children, I don't think you'd support it.
Ian in Ayrshire, hi.
Awesome stuff, and welcome to Peasants Revolt in the chat. And Nina Sadie as well. Hey up. Great to see you both. We're just getting towards the end of this clip from friend of the channel, David Curry, who I was with on Saturday, filming the supermarket action with Take Back Power. Not too long to go. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit thumbs up as you enter the chat, and there's a poll as well if you'd like to indulge, or you might want to wait because we are going to be looking at some more evidence pertaining to Benjamin Netanyahu's status yet to come on stream.
Hello there, how are you doing?
What do you think of David?
Well, I think the intention was obviously there to highlight a bigger problem, but at the end of the day, what he did was wrong.
Okay.
What's
there we
more
go.
wrong,
He's
though, David?
never heard
there
of
we go.
It's more wrong that we live in a rich
before.
country where people are hungry, and actually drawing attention to that awful moral crime is
Ian, what about that? That's the bigger wrong.
It's absolutely true. It's as though this caller yeah, once again, has never heard of protest stunts. I was there on Saturday, just to be very clear. I didn't handle any guns at any point. I was there purely for media purposes. But there's a wider issue, and it's stunts like this, and there have been, I could list so many infamous ones that have happened recently with Youth Demand and Just Stop Oil, or even historical ones from decades past. But the point is, they get the attention. They give people like my friend David here an opportunity to get on platforms like this and talk about the bigger issue alongside people like Owen Jones and what's the face Rees-Mogg. Look at the freeze frame again. You might be surprised to know that I'm not a regular viewer of Jeremy Vine. Anytime, usually watch him, it's clips that have been shared on social media or whatnot. For good reason. But this guy from Ayrshire certainly needs informing about what these kind of stunts are all about in the first place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to agree with your lady panelist who said that by everybody doing this, it puts up the prices. So effectively, that's going to put more people into the position where they can't afford it either. So maybe what David's actually doing is causing further people to be unable to afford the food.
Okay, Ian, thank you very much. Thank you, David, very much for coming in. Appreciate it very much.
Well done, our David, there. That last point there from the guy from Ayrshire was pretty lame. Music, where's the music? Yes, well done, David. So, yeah, he was arrested earlier today at about 4:30 this afternoon. He's still in custody at the moment. I do have the very latest updates within my purview. I will give you as much information as I can / am permitted to as we go through stream. However, one very quick point to make: David actually wasn't arrested for what happened on Saturday. It's apparently in connection with the Ritz action, which was in that segment of Jeremy Vine. So to be clear, still, so far, nobody out of the 4 action groups have been arrested for what happened on Saturday. There's probably some conspiracy bullshit. That's the latest. We wish him well. It is not his first arrest. Of course, he has a great team waiting for him when he comes out. Yeah, whenever that might be. But they are allowed to hold people for 24 hours, of course, legally. So it could be as late as tomorrow afternoon, but we hope not. And yeah, I've seen this evening that the support's been incredible. But first off, before they did actually arrest him, this is quite funny. They went to the wrong house. Take a look at this. So the Met went all the way, and this, I think it's the London Met, went all the way to Manchester, only to go to the wrong house. This is only a short clip. So this was filmed by the person who lives there at the incorrect house in Manchester.
So who is it you're looking for again?
David Curry.
Right, okay. And why are you looking for him again?
I don't have to tell you if you are...
So you've knocked on our door to look for someone and you can't tell me why?
I don't have to tell you.
Right, okay. That's absolutely fine.
Thank you.
No problem. Alright, see you later, guys.
200 miles 200 miles. Fucking hell. 1 second, people. Let's do a quick adjustment here. You might have a couple of seconds buffering, pre-warning. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. What's this? With the... Yeah. Sorry, it was, yeah. It was freezing there. Well, I'll say it back to normal. Back to as normal as gets. But yeah, bit of a cock up from the Met there. Wow. Yeah, I will definitely let you know if I hear anything. Hopefully some good news on our friend David before the end of the stream. For now though, we're going to go to... Now don't get confused, people, it is a Tuesday. We're going to Keith's questions. Easily confused with Keith's catchphrases perhaps, for PMQs on a Wednesday. So it is the Prime Minister's questions, it's just not Prime Minister's questions. That makes sense. No. He's done a video where he takes questions from members of the public. We're going to take a look at that, as well as have a bit of a mini Keith's Catchphrases game within it as well. Because it's always worth a shout whenever he makes any public announcement, that's for sure. I've not seen the video, so I don't know what questions he's going to have to answer. I think I saw one of them in the thumbnail of the video. Holding my hands up, being perfectly honest. But apart from that, I've got no idea what he's going to be asked. So we're going to see now who we've got in contention. This will not count towards the league for anyone who's a regular viewer who knows what I'm talking about with the Keith's Catchphrases League. So it does not count, it's just for fun. And we've got a good old match-up between Security and Deliver. So will it be Starmer's Love of War or Postman Twat who prevails? So we have Security there and Postman Twat with Deliver. Anytime we hear one of the phrases, you will hear this noise. We'll keep a score. It's dead easy. Nothing to do with the league. Just to remind you once again. So this is official Keith media. Plus, I'm not sure where the questions came from. I wasn't even aware that he was taking questions. I wish I had been aware. I would have certainly liked to send in a few myself. In fact, what questions would you have asked Keith? Post your suggestions in the chat as we go through. Like, why are you a genocidal bastard in league with Satan? And not like the cool one off of, you know, album covers and whatnot. Like the bad one. Well, let's kick off. Let's see what he's got. Even I'm not sure he might win this one. Deliver's not been out for a while. In contention, let's see.
No, the UK is not going to war with Iran. I've got a lot of questions from a lot of you, which is a good thing. So,
why don't you fuck off? That's the first fucking question I've got. Any more in the chat yet? Okay, not yet. But we'll just go with that one for now. Question 1. Why haven't you fucked off yet? And fucked off some more when you get there, you fucking fucker.
Here are my answers. At the beginning of this conflict, I made it really clear that we wouldn't join the offensive.
First of all, whoever answered that question doesn't know that we are inadvertently at war with Iran for helping out the United States of America, which I suspect is going to be prevalent throughout the answer to this question, but it's a good opportunity for security.
Strikes that the US and Israel were carrying out on Iran. We've got about 300,000 British nationals in the Gulf region, and it's important that we protect them and our Gulf allies. So we have.
Where do these questions come from? Like, seriously, this is so. It's obviously set up, isn't it? Oh yeah, let's get like a podcaster mic in the shop with, you know, instead of the clip on, to try and at least make it look like it's not just some complete twat sitting on a chair. Just stare at the XLR lead. That might be, you know, twice as interesting as anything that comes out of Starmer's mouth.
Got the IRF in particular.
Question in chat for Keith. When are you going to end constant universal credit reviews? Indeed, people on universal credit don't know whether they're coming or going, the same as students or anyone who has to fucking feed themselves.
Flying aeroplanes across the region. They're actually intercepting strikes to stop them hitting people and buildings. So that's defensive action.
It's
but
being
we're not
involved.
Joining the,
It's being. Oh God. It's being involved. America and Israel's acts are totally aggressive, not defensive. No, this is real. This is real. This was on Keir Starmer's YouTube channel. This is real. It's obviously a publicity PR setup kind of thing. Like I said, I personally don't know where these questions have come from. It couldn't have been a mass appeal, you know. Ask Keir Starmer. They're going to be selected, of course, but ask Keir Starmer anything. There's never anything that came into my purview. Yeah, it's a propaganda piece. That's all it is. Not parody. It's real. It's genuine. And he's a genuine TWAT twat.
Or we are allowing the US to use our bases, but again for defensive, collective self-defense, to take out basically the ability of Iran to put missiles into the air that are going or may go.
Sorry, I'm skipping back a few seconds. I might have missed a security.
To take out basically the ability of Iran to put missiles into the air that are going or may go to attack our Gulf allies and our people in the Gulf. So not going to war.
Not going to war. We're just letting America use our Air Force bases. We're sending naval warships. And we're sending warplanes. But no, definitely not in this at all.
Simply taking necessary defensive action to protect British lives and British interests. Whether it's conflict in the region, whether it's the impact on oil and gas, or just the worry that most people have about how's this going to impact me in my home, the best way to reduce the impact is to de-escalate, to get to the end of hostilities.
Nothing, absolutely nothing reeks of de-escalation and, you know, sending more military apparatus into the region and assisting America in getting their military apparatus into the region as well. It's just complete and utter genius. I'm aghast beside myself with the levels of genius being displayed here by the Right Honourable Member Holborn St Pancras and Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Keir Starmer. Oh, God.
And then get to a negotiated settlement. And we're speaking to
and then get
all
to,
of our...
And get to it, and that's it. Stage 3. It's like the South Park thing, isn't it? Only with war, you know. Phase 1. Help America do a war crime again. Phase 3. everything's okay. No, at this moment in time, Iran are more or less in control of this. They've got the world by the balls with the control of the Strait of Hormuz, and that's the way it is. Keir Starmer can go and talk to as many European leaders as he wants. They can talk amongst themselves until the cows come home. There will be no way that they'll be able to get the strait opened other than diplomatically.
Allies to try and make sure that that happens as quickly as possible. The Strait of Hormuz is a really important shipping lane. It's basically
not just what are your plans on dealing with the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, that sort of question, but for some reason, instead of Googling what the Strait of Hormuz is, they've decided to have a punt that their question would be selected and ask the Prime Minister. What's the next question going to be after this? What is Iran? What is missiles?
Quickly as possible. The Strait of...
What is the Strait of... What is... They've never heard of it. They've never heard of it. These anonymous questions, of course, being completely legitimate.
Hormuz is a really important shipping lane.
But yeah, Google it. Just... And now Keith's going to explain it to us like we're 5, aren't we lucky? It's a big bloody stretch of water where about 20% of the world's oil goes through, unless at the moment, unless you're a Zionist. But you could get it to Saudi Arabia and Oman, for example. You know. Oh no, it's geography and geopolitics time with Keith. But we went there once on holiday.
It's basically how the Gulf states access, well, the rest of the world, and a lot of oil and gas comes through the Strait. Iran is stopping.
That's all. And fucking about with Iran in all of that, you didn't consider that they might retaliate by closing that stretch of water. It didn't cross your minds. I'll be getting on to whether Trump considered that as well after we hear a bit more from Keith.
Shipping getting through the straits, that is having an impact on oil and gas prices. We need to get the straits back open as quickly as possible. We've been talking, particularly in recent days, to our allies about this, the US, European partners, to Gulf states.
Waste of time.
I'm not going to pretend it's easy to do this, but it is really important that we do it because...
Iran have issued demands that, for example, Israeli ambassadors should be kicked out of certain countries, and they've rejected the notion of talks. They're going to play hardball with this one when it comes to getting there. They're not going to do it on a whim or off of any promise that Keith or Trump can offer, that's for sure. No way. No way. This will go on for quite a while now unless they, do the obvious thing and just back the fuck off. Get out of there.
Whilst the straits are not in full operation, the price of oil and gas goes up, and I know that then affects everybody at home. Although I do just want to say this.
But you could lower the duty, which is like half
in the
of
United Kingdom for households. We cut energy bills about £117 averagely for households, and we are going to cap that. We are capping that to the end of June. So I know people are worried, but just on household energy bills, be assured that in 3 weeks' time they're actually going to be cut and then capped for 3 months.
How's it nil-nil? He's been speaking for 2 minutes.
To de-escalate the situation in the Gulf, because that is the best way to deal with the impact on the cost of living.
Nearly 3.
We've got a number of military bases in the Middle East.
Next question. What is Middle East? No. What are we doing to protect our military bases in the Middle East? well, you're pointing a big, come and hyperbolically missile the shit out of here sign up on every single one of them by helping America out in this thing that we're not involved in whatsoever, of course. That's what's happening.
They've been targeted by Iran, so...
Oh, well, we didn't see this coming, bloody hell.
In order to protect them, we had already pre-deployed anti-drone capability, radar capability. We already had our planes there, RAF pilots. We put more of those into the region. And from about...
And now we're totally... And then wanting to gloat about how much more that we're sending as well. Drones now. God. What do you say, Viv?
Wimp! Pervert! Knobend!
An hour or two after the conflict started, they've been working 24/7 in the skies, taking out the incoming strikes from Iran, which is protecting our bases and our people in those bases.
Protecting them how? Protecting them how?
I'm really conscious.
Will the war in Iran affect my energy bill? Yeah, Keith asks himself. Yes, oh, we're going to have some tough choices and difficult decisions, aren't we? To make. But confidence, negotiations. We're going to deliver on energy security.
That whatever's going on in the world, for most people, the issue they're most concerned about is the cost of living. Can I make ends meet? Can I pay my bills? Are my bills going to go up? And there's a real sense of worry about that. Now, I get that because when I was growing up, we didn't have...
Because I'm a millionaire. Yeah.
Enough money to pay our bills. And therefore, we literally had to sit around our kitchen table discussing how we would cope. So I know that anxiety.
You told us about this before, of course. You had to sit around the kitchen and talk about how you'd cope. Yeah. Well, there's not enough room on the drive for all your cars. Those sort of conversations.
It's like it's sort of knot in the stomach when you know you can't pay the bills. That's why this government has said that dealing with the cost of living is the #1 priority. We have decided at the last budget to take money off energy bills. On average, for households.
Oh, God, it's awful, isn't it? He thinks this is some great format that's more inspiring and energetic than his usual turn at the lectern. Get a glass of water and have the microphone in shot instead of a clip-on. That'll really go. He's on the unbuttoned jacket as well. Style. It's got it all. Slick Keith. That's what they call him. Oh, this is awful. It's not like he's already plugged this this fake notion of everybody saving exactly, precisely £117 for some unexplained reason. It's that figure as opposed to a round number. Maybe he'll explain a little bit more, although I've got more of the idea that he's probably just going to repeat what he said 1 minute ago.
To take money off energy bills. On average, for households, about £117.
And then they'll go up by £118 at least, won't they, Keith?
It'll vary a bit, but that's the average.
It'll vary a bit. Now, oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, by the way, it'll vary a bit. That was the, if you listen to, if you're ever subjected to radio advertising, even a lot of TV adverts as well, when they read some of the terms and conditions very quickly at the end, you kind of did that one there. Yeah. Especially when it comes to investment companies. And they go through all this, spend a minute trying to sell you all the investment bullshit, and then at the end just pretty much say as quickly as humanly possible, you might lose all your money. And it's the same. What was that? Variable. What was that thing? What was that thing you just said there? Might vary a bit.
In 3 weeks' time, that decision goes into action, and therefore energy bills will come down, household energy bills, and then we will cap them for 3 months to the end of June. Whatever happens in the conflict, that will be the situation. I know that some people, particularly in rural communities and in Northern Ireland, use oil for their heating. And that's why today I've announced support for those that are using oil, because their prices will have gone up. I'm also saying, by the way,
is this whole thing just not a massive indicator of why we should be moving to renewables for heating people's houses? Jesus Christ. 5 fucking years I've been banging, at least, you know, as a sort of in protest, as arrestable protest, that is, on this particular matter. So, fucking hell, just get with the programme. We're already beyond the time the scientists warned us that we have to literally determine the future of humanity. It should be just there in neon lettering as a solution. But Shell and BP wouldn't like that, because then they wouldn't have, and I'm quoting them, quoting the head of BP, they wouldn't literally have more money than they know what to do with.
Too many stories of deliveries being cancelled and then prices going up when the new appointment is made. We've got to stop any sense of people being ripped off. But we are putting that support in. And we'll look at what else we can do. Fuel duty for those that are driving is frozen through till September.
I believe I brought this up on Sunday as well. Freezing it when it makes up 50% of the cost is a bad thing. You need to be lowering this. You are setting something up that deprives you of at least the fiscal situation. Let's hypothetically assume that fossil fuels didn't harm the planet, yada yada yada. Even from a financial perspective, you've removed your ability to be able to manage the price, to be able to control the price through the duty, through the taxation, by freezing it. It's beyond belief that he thinks this is a solution, and he seems to be gloating about it in this propaganda puff piece, which is about as convincing as the cheapest Punch and Judy show you're likely to find.
In an uncertain world, those are certainties. Those are some of the things we're doing in relation to the cost of living.
Very enthusiastic end there from Keith, as you saw. Yeah, I feel so optimistic now that I've seen that. That certainly has quelled my ire. I mean, wow. What else can you say? What else do you say, people? So, nothing, no score. Still can't believe didn't get a single deliver or security in all of that. It was like 5 minutes. The clip. Well, he said at the end there, we live in an uncertain world. One thing's for certain. Come May's local election results, someone's going to be out on his ear. No, I don't think he mentioned the coup, the attempted coup. Funny how he, skips over that bit. Oh, look. This country that we're helping America out in, what have I got here? Liberating, just happens to be full of oil. But I'm not the only one who's been critical of Keir Starmer this week so far. It's only Tuesday. Donald Trump as well has apparently expressed his displeasure with how much assistance he is or isn't getting from Keith. Let's take a look at that. First of all, a quick note of a story which came out today concerning a resignation. A pretty significant one at that as well. I'll just get the bookmark up. The game's up. People have said across the last couple of days, especially concerning NATO. We're going to just quickly talk about that. The fact that NATO was established as a defensive alliance, Trump seems to think that it means America points at whichever country they want to attack and everybody else has to go along with it. Quite a few people have been saying that, but for one of the counter-terrorism officials in the United States, it's apparently beyond the pale already. And he's handed in his resignation. Just a quick adjustment here, people. It is back, I believe. Oh, no, we don't want that one. One sec. It's all happening. No, I've got this. 1 second. It's just the window capture being a twat. Don't stress. Right, there we are. So Joe Kent said that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States and claimed the administration started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Well, speaking the truth. The White House dismissed the letter, saying the president had compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the US first. Of course he didn't. US Hate Monitor accused Kent of anti-Semitic tropes. Yeah. Don't be surprised if, in a short amount of time, in mysterious circumstances, he falls on some bullets or something like that. But he has spoken the truth in his departure. He also alleged that high-ranking Israeli officials and influential US journalists had sowed misinformation that led to the president undermining his America First platform. Yeah, because whether it's America First or Britain First that you hear from these right-wing douchebags, and at the end of the day, they're very happy to make a quick buck from Israel. And prioritise the genocidal state instead. And yeah, he's talking about AIPAC. That whole thing, of course. Tulsi Gabbard's tried to defend the stance, obviously. That's not particularly convincing, but that is a pretty significant development. An unforced resignation, that is. So that's worth noting just as we go into these clips here. What do you think? Yeah, it's not gonna... I don't think this will really change his decision on much. But he's certainly done a good few press conferences over the last 48 hours and such. Well, first off, let's kick off with what he said about Starmer.
I was disappointed.
And just make sure I can hear this myself. Okay.
Because Keir was willing to send 2 aircraft carriers after we won, because essentially there's no threat for the aircraft carriers. Right?
That is literally all that we have. I'm not defending Keir Starmer here. We have 2 aircraft carriers. So yeah.
Right now. And they said, no, we want things sent before the war, not after the war is won. So yeah, I'm disappointed with Keir. I like it.
One. I'm pretty sure that this is the way it's gone. He started off by saying that they've won, and then he said that they're winning, and now he's saying, you know, please help, pretty much. Can you send us some? So if you've won, what's the necessity in that? Why have you had to turn around to so many countries who've rejected you, apart from Argentina? If you're victorious, that's France, it's Germany, so many EU countries as well. Obviously, I don't even know why he bothered asking China, but he has apparently. They've not given a response, but I'm pretty sure you can guess what that might be. In South Korea as well. Also don't want anything to do with this. Victors don't ask for help if the fight's already won, Donald.
I think he's a nice man, but I'm disappointed.
Mr. President.
You see that man right there? You know who that is?
Churchill.
That's the late, great Winston Churchill. And
Barack
Barack Hussein Obama did not want his bust in this office. Did you?
Probably because he starved 2 million Indians to death, amongst other things of not the best character, should we say. Yeah.
You know that? And Barack Hussein Obama sent that bus back to England. They didn't want it. And when I came...
We didn't want it. Okay. So what would this have been? Maybe 2008? and I'm not sure I've ever heard about that one. That he tried to return it, and we refused it. A bust of former Prime Minister Winston Churchill. I'm not sure I'll buy that, but I'll say not sure. Trump said it, so it definitely didn't happen, of course. This is quite a spinning yarn.
I was asked if I wanted it. I said, absolutely, I want it. And I put it right there, Winston Churchill. And, you know, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
Keir Starmer has done a lot to reset the Irish-British relationship. I just want to put that on the record. But I do believe that he's a very earnest, sound person who I think you have a capacity to get on with. You've got on with him before. And you've got on with other European leaders as well. Sure. And I think you have that capacity again. And I think everyone exists. I mean, you cannot have a rogue state with a nuclear weapon.
I was disappointed.
Well, the Irish leader there tried to interject, you know, I guess in the politest way, trying to tell him that he was being a dick. Trump's not going to absorb much of that, though, of course. So that's on Starmer. Got a few other clips here. Because some of this is quite unbelievable, but then again, completely believable. Considering who we're dealing with, of course. As always. Israel have also started to attack Lebanon, of course. They're claiming that they're going after Hezbollah, etc. This was brought up at press conference. Someone asked Trump if they discussed this, if America were going to get involved, and just listen to the sort of story that he trails off on in, well, completely failing to address the proper question.
Israel is expected,
which concerns America's involvement. Someday in the future, some historian's going to have to compile all of, you know, the worst bits of Trump interviews and press conferences, and can you just imagine, you know, the sheer bulk of material that they're going to have to be dealing with? Because it really is quite something. See what's happening. Yeah, first of all, Lebanon.
to expand its ground offensive in southern Lebanon to go after Hezbollah. Have you discussed that with Israeli leaders?
Yeah.
And does the United States support a potential Israeli invasion of Lebanon?
Yeah.
Well, he does say yes. He then goes on to sort of expand on his response, but not in the way that you think.
No, I did, and
or any sane person would.
Look, Hezbollah is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time, not just now. And it's a certain area, because I was with the other night a person whose parents live in Lebanon. This is a very
perfect. So his parents live in Lebanon.
Substantial person, wealthy person.
A wealthy person. Oh God, they must be they must be good as gold if they're rich then.
Live in Lebanon. I said, really? How do you live in Lebanon? Your parents are living? Oh yeah, they live there. And over the years, they've gotten used to the fact that it's being bombed. But they explained to me that it's really a different section of Lebanon.
He probably thinks people in Lebanon live in straw huts or something like this, you know.
It's the section where Hezbollah is. And they get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, people live in Ukraine. You would think they wouldn't live in Ukraine, but they live in Ukraine.
Did someone tell you that as well?
I don't know that I'd do that, but they live in Ukraine. They live in Lebanon. Hezbollah is a big problem, and they're rapidly...
It just goes back to what he said at the start. They're a problem. What he means is, of course, Israel never have a cat in hell's chance of shifting Hezbollah. A ground invasion of Lebanon isn't the same as sniping kids from half a mile away like they used to doing in Gaza, or just blowing up entire apartment blocks. It isn't so easy. But then all that... So the conversation went, I'm from Lebanon. How can you live in Lebanon? It's unimaginable. They just happen to be, or their parents were, can't exactly remember, very wealthy person. What the fuck was that?
Being eliminated. Thank you very much, everybody.
Just okay. Just end it right there. He's just called that one. That one's done. But up next, just getting back to the Strait of Hormuz situation. Which way around shall I do this? Okay. Go with this one first, because,
Iran, who's
like I said, like I pointed out, not the only one, of course. It's, well, not naive. It's not even appropriate. Utterly insane that Trump reasonably didn't expect this kind of response from Iran after attacking them, that they might close the Strait of Hormuz, but it does say here that it came as something of a surprise and a shock to him. Now, he never foresaw himself in this situation. Let's see what he's got to say about that.
Truly a nation of great terror and power. Look what happened in the last 2 weeks. They weren't supposed to go after all these other countries in the Middle East. Those missiles were set to go after them. So they hit Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that.
He didn't expect it. He didn't expect, as well as closing the Strait of Hormuz, that perhaps a country that's attacked by another country might choose to attack that country's air force bases. No, he's never... I'm almost beside myself with disbelief.
We were shocked, and the other one, they fought back. They could have yielded.
They fought back.
But think of it, if
they
we
could have
weren't
just
around,
given up on the first day. Yeah.
They had tremendous power. They had thousands of missiles, most of which we've terminated. They had thousands of drones. They were making drones and missiles all over the place. We've knocked out most of those factories. I mean, now...
They're hitting Tel Aviv literally as I speak. It's always, incapacitated this and taking that out. Seems that he's barely made a dent. Just thought that they'd give up as soon as the Ayatollah was killed. It's a country that's thousands and thousands of years old as well, just as a reminder.
They're sending out 2 or 3 missiles. Now, they've still got some. They might have
a few,
left,
couple.
But
they're all
mostly
old.
They've been eliminated. They've been...
It's all the old stuff. They're not even using the new latest hypersonic ballistic missiles and all, the best drones that they've got. These are cheap, comparatively cheap drones that cost tens of, the low tens of thousands of dollars compared to the millions and billions that Trump's splurging. Sitting there acting as though they've got nothing left. And he's completely surprised that all of this happened, but he said this, and then within minutes, this is the same press conference.
I knew.
He completely contradicts himself. Surprise, surprise. He certainly doesn't have previous on in that regard. Oh, just need to get my headphones. So, yeah. So he says here, right, Now he's decided he wants to gloat, and all of a sudden he's Mr. Know-It-All again. And I knew this was going to happen. I predicted it.
I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago. Predicted all of this stuff.
Oh, I
you guys
knew.
were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would.
And, sorry, what she called is sitting on the right as we look. She probably can't believe this.
Knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched
he's
him
doing his Nostradamus bit now.
be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book.
He wrote it in a
You
book.
can even check. About a year before the
book's called "There's Going to Be an Attack on the World Trade Center in a year from now." Honest, you know, it had already been a terrorist target prior to that bombing in 1993. Yeah, so it wasn't like it was unprecedented as a target before it happened in 2001.
World Trade Center then came down. President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that. I predicted a lot of things.
He predicted a lot, which you won't mention. But he definitely knew, didn't take any preemptive action in knowing that the Strait was going to be closed down. And then said he's totally shocked at their capabilities and that they might have some resilience, they might respond, they might react. The pumpkin spiced Palpatine. He's a nut. He's crazy in the coconut. You're absolutely right there, Doc. Peasants revolt. Speaking of Israel and public media, we're going to be getting onto that right now, actually, because we've got more evidence to add to the file in this Netanyahu case. Just before we go into My Left Private Eye, it's 42% still think he's alive, 37% injured or incapacitated, and 21% dead. Well, we'll see if that changes. Anybody who's been hesitating, got a few bits and pieces to lay on you now, so let's see what's happening.
It's time to rip the lid off of it!
Alright, well, if it stops buffering, just going to hang on a couple of seconds, just wait for it to come back. Yep, all good. Yep, all good here. All good. People in chat, I believe so. Right. Do the shit with the thing.
It's time to rip the lid off of it!
One more question, sir, about those sacks of gold.
Oh wow, a police chase! We're coming in! Open this door!
Alright, yeah. Get your trench coats and magnifying glasses ready, people. We had a video out yesterday with the coffee cup thing that we talked about on Sunday as well. There was also this, just very quickly as a recap. Do highly recommend that video though, of course, as well as hyping it up, watching on mobile or tablet. This was the video released yesterday. I'll turn the volume down. There are no English subtitles, unfortunately, and I don't speak Hebrew, so this apparently shows him going around in an undisclosed outdoor location, talking to a few random people, but there are some moments just there, just as he reaches out for that chair. Just watch there a minute. Okay, so as he reaches across, the wedding ring, I think it's his wedding ring on his left hand, appears to disappear. But if you can't, and some people have been over this with a fine-tooth comb, you can see it kind of there as it reappears. But as you'll see here, someone who's zoomed and enhanced highlights that moment. And it does appear to vanish. It's not the angle, it's not that he clenches his fist, and even if he did, it's underneath a knuckle, because it's a wedding ring, for God's sake, you know. And his knuckle's clearly visible there. And then it's gone. And then all of a sudden it reappears. As he holds his hand up later on, just a couple of seconds later on, but this is super slowed down. So that's been picked out as, air quotes, he reaches for the chair. And then there it is. There it is, back on the finger again. I mean, really? That's, what's going on there? See that again, just very quickly. I'll just play that without pause or interruption for your consideration one more time. I do have a lot of fresh new stuff. It's difficult to notice when you watch the video in real time. But after I'd seen this analysis and slowed down version, went back to the original clip myself, and indeed, that is what happens. This isn't the original clip that's been doctored to try and make it look as though the ring appears, you know, for clicks or clickbait, whatever it is on the video. The version that was put out on Netanyahu's own social media. Yeah. Straight up vanishes, or at least appears to. But there's this as well. Now, a lot of people have asked, why is he choosing to do these increasingly spurious videos where he meets people or persons? We're going to see one that came out today where he supposedly met Mike Huckabee on his 70th birthday as well. But another question that's come up is, why hasn't he not done press conferences with, you know, members of the international press, and then that'll put it to bed, or a live interview with a well-known international journalist or whatever. Why is he been absent from the most recent security meetings as well, which he never has before, but also this? Why is he supposedly on the same day wearing 3 different outfits? Once during one live, air quotes, live address. Another on a second where he doesn't even really look the same as he does in the first one at the top. And also third in a supposed meeting. And there is something coming up as well that might be considered to be a bit of a smoking gun, a bit of a sort of bombshell moment, if you'll forgive the pun, current situation considered. But why the outfit changes? You can see there he's changed his tie. Well, yeah, getting a stain on your tie is easily done. But then in the, I'll just zoom in a bit on the picture at the bottom, the third one, he's wearing a blue shirt as opposed to a white shirt, which he is clearly in the first 2 there. White shirt, and then a blue shirt, a light blue shirt, as he's on the phone, apparently, and during the same day. So either something's going on, or maybe he's the messiest eater in the history of eating. But why the outfit changes? Why the 3 outfit changes? What is he, Madonna? Beyonce Knowles? What's going on? The hair parting, yeah. I've seen a couple of other people point that out as well. Space Cowboy, 420, nice to see on chat. The hair parting is different. The consistency, the thickness of his hair compared to recent pictures as well. And yes, people, especially politicians, especially Donald Trump, get made up for television. But it seems a lot thinner in these clips that we've seen to supposedly prove that he's alive.
Mr. Prime Minister,
including this one.
The president asked me to come and make sure you were okay.
This one, it's just, where do you begin? Now, we're all used to sort of set up promo videos with politicians where they have unnatural conversations and pretend that it's real and the camera's following them around. You have to sort of try and look past that into the actual words that are used, even considering these kind of things are cringe, even considering that neither of these 2 guys could be considered actors of any description either. So there's that. There's a very, again, supposedly telling moment or 2, which I'll go into. And this is another example of what we just said there. The hairline, his face, his ear shape of his nose is inconsistent throughout all of these. But this one here is pretty freaky. This might freak you out as well, because we'll watch this through. It's only a minute. And then you'll get a sense of the unnatural language and conversation. But like I said, yeah, try and focus on this, because it's like the coffee shop one, the first one that came out. Just quickly going back to that, another point that I didn't make. Whoever supposedly asked him the question in that video does so, and then he completely ignores it and starts to talk about coffee. You know, I love coffee. I'm, you know, so passionate about. Doing a pretty shit Netanyahu there, but you know what I mean. that fluid that doesn't spill and doesn't reduce as he sips it, of course. So let's see this one. This was today, just as a reminder, supposedly to celebrate Huckabee's 70th birthday.
Yes, Mike. Yes, I'm alive.
I checked that, and I'm happy to see that. But he wanted to make sure because, you know, you guys get along too well.
I know, and we shake hands with 5 fingers in each hand. You know, but I have to tell you, I'm alive.
Who says things like that? Yes, and we shake with 5 fingers.
But I have this card.
Oh.
And, yeah, don't read it. So it's a punch card.
Mm-hmm.
Today I raised 2 names.
He held the face of it towards his eyes and then said, "Don't read it." That's what went down. Yeah. Don't read this that I'm holding in front of your face openly.
On the punch cards. And you see how many more to go on this batch.
You know what the good news is? My name.
What was that about? What was that about? A punch card? It's 2026. Who still uses punch cards?
And you see how many more to go on this batch.
You know what the good.
A batch of what? And then Huckabee, air quotes Huckabee, makes no reference to what Netanyahu's just said.
News is, my name is not on the punch card.
Your name is on the list of the good guys.
Thank you.
What is this weird shit? He has a random punch card that says who is the good guys and who's the bad guys. And they shake hands, maybe with 4 fingers, maybe with 5. So let's assume that's, Netanyahu's right hand at the back of Huckabee's that you can see at the front. Where's Netanyahu's index finger? Because it doesn't reach round the front of Huckabee's hand. You can see the thumb over the top and 3 underneath was the 5th finger. Was the 5th finger. Is that doing something weird as well? Interesting.
And what the president, the U.S. forces are doing is incredible. We're very proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with them. And getting rid of these lunatics who would like to develop nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city after wiping out Israel. They ain't going to do that. We're wiping them out.
Wiping them out? Well, very genocidal language from faking Netanyahu. I love it. And he's all for wiping people out. Mike Huckabee, that was a legitimate conversation that 2 normal people have who are real. Thanks. And that's as far as the conversation went. Hey, by the way, just back to the start.
Mr. Prime Minister, I wanted you to know the president asked me to come and make sure you were okay.
And he didn't bother to mention, he didn't wish him a happy birthday.
Yes, Mike. Yes.
Hello, Mike. I'm here for your birthday. It's your birthday, isn't it? Isn't that what all this is about? His 70th, was it? Birthday?
I'm alive.
I checked that.
And you've been alive for 70 years, precisely.
Happy to see that.
But I'll make no mention of that.
Because, you know, you guys get along too well.
I know, and we should.
Hang on. No, the meeting wasn't set up so that you could make sure that Benjamin Netanyahu was alive. The meeting was set up so that he could wish you a happy birthday. Or have I gotten that mixed up myself?
Hands with 5 fingers in each hand.
So yeah, won't go through all of that. But take a look at this, people. You might not have noticed this. Just as That's a bit earlier than that. Very close to the start. As they turn this corner, there's a sort of glass screen you see behind them, and then they come into a corridor and you see a set of double doors just behind them. This isn't about the doors, this is just for the... So when, at the moment this happens, comes into shot, just try and pay attention to Huckabee's face, because I'm going to show you another zoom-in clip that Matt Wallace, a content provider called Matt Wallace, has actually uploaded. But his expression changes, and as it does so, there seems to be some sort of glitch.
I'm sure you were okay.
There when he smiles, after he says, I was here to make sure that you're okay. On my 70th birthday, of course, I've taken the trouble and time. Just there, did you see anything odd? Well, this is the Matt Wallace zoom and enhance.
Make sure you were okay. Oh, the president asked him.
What is this? What is that? Disturbing music as well. What's going on there? Just rewind. So the position of the ears, the hairline is cheeked, the bone structure, like literally something strange would have to be going on with his skull for this to be legitimate. Look at the hairline. The big and a parting that appears and disappears. The hair just completely changes as that happens. Like, I don't know what's going on. I do know one thing that's going on though. We've got 5 gifted memberships in the chat. That's awesome stuff. It takes us over the 200 mark as well. Comrie, thank you very much for your generous donation there. Let's please big up Comrie in the chat, please, everyone. Big up, big up. And this channel supports Welsh independence, of course. Thanks again. Just adjust that 201. Sorry, a bit of a change of mood from the shock and awe of what was going on the screen. Not that many, just the 201. 2016 would be excellent. But for now, we are very humbly grateful for the 201 out of 250 that we have. Thanks again, Comrie, Solidari-Tea. So where was I? Oh yes, what's going on here? Sinister, low-key music going on behind as well. Just to I didn't put the music on. That was Matt Wallace. Again, credit to Matt Wallace for that. Pointing this out. What about that sign? Apologies again, I don't speak Hebrew, but is that legitimate Hebrew? Because we know that AI has a reputation for fails on lettering if they try and represent books or newspapers, for example, even signs, t-shirts, that kind of thing. Is that legit? If anyone can let us know about that. Does it say happy birthday, Mike? No, probably not, because there's no mention of that whatsoever. Yeah, there's something definitely going on there. But that is not perhaps the most condemning snippets of evidence. You can replay that yourselves until you're satisfied either way, I guess. But when I said there could potentially be a smoking gun, it comes not from something that someone's highlighted on a video, a disappearing ring, some inconsistency, some glitch that suggests it's computer generated, but it's just pure straight logic, which is pretty undeniable. So again, on social media, he's alive and well. In fact, here he is at today's government meeting, which took place today. I've kept the timestamp in the snippet there. 12 minutes to 3 in the afternoon on the 17th of March in the year of our Lord 2026. So a few hours or so ago now, garnered over 500,000 views. If he is alive and at today's government meeting, then why is there a community note saying that that image is from the 27th of September 2024? Dun, 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 dun. So he was addressing the UN General Assembly in New York in that picture, and he used a large visual map that you saw in the background there. Just put that up again. Large visual map to explain Iran's regional influence, which he described as the curse. This would have been the one, do you remember, where he had the maps on the cards as well? The curse and the cure. Basically reiterating his plans to try and take over the entirety of the Middle East, what with him being a genocidal maniac and all. So it is from that at the United Nations in 2024. It's not today. Why do they have to lie? Why do they... yes, they are Israel. They are the Zionists. They lie with every breath that they take. But seriously, why did they have to do that if he is legitimately not ended or injured or incapacitated? There is no reason. Yes, they're congenital in their lies. But if they were ever going to speak the truth, it would be on this, and then that would put the whole matter to bed, wouldn't it? Now, let's not forget, for any, I'm sure that a lot of viewers are familiar with the history of the Middle East, with the history of the genocide of Gaza and the war crimes of Israel. But historically, when former leader Ariel Sharon was in a coma for 8 years, they certainly dragged their feet on informing the public, even in their own country, let alone the wider world, that he was in a coma. And he died 8 years later. They didn't announce it after 8 years. They did take a considerable... I don't know the exact amount of time. And now, like I said, I think I mentioned this in the narration of the video that came out yesterday, possibly on somebody's live stream as well. I'm only getting increasingly satisfied that something's happened to him. And I did say that I was waiting for something to come out from from Iran officially, or even Israel as well, of course. But this is now widely being thrown around Iranian media. Genuine claims, not sort of hints. It's being reported as news, essentially. So let's see what's happening. There we go.
So essentially, it was reported by the Iranians that they had killed, or at least struck, Bibi Netanyahu, so Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as his There was reports that his brother, Ido, had also been killed, that basically they had struck the family home or Netanyahu's office. And in that strike, Netanyahu himself was taken out, either wounded or killed, that his brother was also wounded or killed. They'd also reported that the head of Mossad, David Barnea, was also killed. They've also reported that Ben Gvir was also, he's the Minister of National Security, that he was also taken out. And
yep, and Yoav Gallant, quite a lot of them, in fact. Comrie, thank you very much for another gifted membership, 5 of them, in fact. Thanks again, Solidari-Tea. Can we pick up once again? Comrie in the chat, please, everybody. 106. Let's carry on. Yeah, because of course it's not just Netanyahu either.
And Tomar Bar, the Air Force commander. These rumors started circulating after the Iranians said, yep, we took them out. Now, we also hear from the Israelis all of the people that they claim to take out on the Iranian side and with Hamas and all of these. And so the Iranians were doing the same thing. But of course...
before Kim Iverson gets on to her, of course, I just want to quickly say of course, when Israel initially claimed that they'd taken out the Ayatollah, it was all across the media, all across the world, and now that Iran are doing the same for Israel's head of state, it's not quite the same style or level of journalism and reporting, is it now? And that's not a coincidence, as we all know. There hasn't been a whiff of this, not even a whiff of rumours or Ros Atkins calm the fuck down, here are the facts, rumour control kind of thing. No, not a mention, a complete, like, what do you call it, a D-notice on the situation.
The Israelis adamantly claimed that this was not true. The only problem was we weren't really seeing Netanyahu. We weren't really getting, I mean, he would kind of disappeared. And so then the question was, well, if he's alive and if they're lying, then show us he's alive. And we started getting a little bit of trickling of maybe some reports that Netanyahu was doing things, but he hasn't been seen by the public in the same way that he's always been seen previously. So previously, his typical MO is that he would visit, he would do like television.
There is another factor, might only be a minor consideration, but he was, of course, fairly recently diagnosed with cancer as well, wasn't he? Could it be related? Could it be related to that?
Televised addresses, press.
But why? Yeah, why is he not?
Conferences from secure locations, in-person visits to military bases and
doing
troops.
Those things?
Official photos.
Hold up a paper, today's newspaper, on camera.
Statements. There would be a lot of in-person with him and a lot of other people, but usually having to do with the military and building up morale or the security situation. Not him out sipping
coffee, yeah, that doesn't disappear when he sips it. Just have a bit of a snippet of that Kim Iverson bit there. But asking the right questions about the lack of press conferences and that kind of thing. It would be so simple him to prove that he's still alive, and it's been nearly 2 weeks now. Well, not quite. Was it the 9th? I think it was claims that he might have been hit in an airstrike on the 9th, so yeah, a week and a half. But we do live in the craziest of times, you're quite right there. Graham, thank you very much for your super chats. Solidarity, brother. Have some appreciation, thumbs up, solidarity. And big up Graham in the chat, please, everybody. Thanks for your support as always, brother. Imagine if it were you. Imagine if you were a head of state and You go through Twitter, which is currently known as Twitter, or turn on your TV, whatever it is, and find out that people are saying that you've bitten the dust. What are you going to do to put these doubters to bed, to silence the naysayers? There's a myriad of things that you could do. Yes, the country is under attack, and as soon as he attacked Iran, he got on a plane and fled. I went to Germany first after trying to go to Cyprus and being told he couldn't. Even considering that, though, it would still be relatively easy to prove your own current existence. Apparently not. So the plot thickens, because the more that these "look, I'm stood here with another human being" sort of videos, more of those that come out, the faker they look and the worse that they look. And these unnatural conversations. Hey, so people are saying you're dead. You know I love coffee, I'm just going to talk about coffee. It's almost as if someone just typed into a generator roughly what happens. I ignore the complete point and start to talk about what I'm about to pick up. Almost. You got MySpace. Nobody has MySpace anymore. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? It's pre-Facebook. Right, so that is where we'll leave it for this episode of My Left Private Eye. Pretty sure there'll be more stuff to go through, as we will, with a fine-tooth comb as always, on this channel. Nothing gets past My Left Eye. We'll get to the bottom of this one, you believe me, and I'm going to find out who shot that twat Charlie Kirk someday. But for now, that's it.
One more question, sir, about those sacks of gold.
Oh wow, a police chase!
Coming in, open this door!
And after those gifted memberships, very generous, and super chats as well, of course, time to give a shout out to everybody on the roster, which does need updating. We're always very pleased to update the roster. Yes, those new names will be added. Super thanks are also open if you're watching back later on. There's a Buy Me a Coffee page, link in the description of any content on the channel as well. Thanks for all of your support, one and all. A final reminder of the stream: if you are watching on a mobile or tablet, please do open some recent video content on the channel, non-live stream content, and contribute, donate, gift, pledge some of your hype points if available. You'll find out as soon as you hit the thumbs up button. It'll say, hey, do you want to get some hype points as well? And you go, you bet you fucking bollocks I would. Thank you very much, everybody. And we're getting very close to the goal now. 44 away as we are on stream. And we owe it all to our awesome audience once again. Final reminder, people, just a few moments before the poll is a closing, and it is actually quite a close one. Pretty close one. The closest one I can remember for some time. So now that you've heard the further evidence, things have changed somewhat. Alive is still in the lead, but with just 36% now. 32% think dead, and also 32% think injured or incapacitated, so it could change within the last few moments. I'll leave that until I've seen who's available for a raid. So whilst I'm setting up the raid, Carpe Diem. Whilst we're speaking Latin in chat. Grasp the day. Right, who's around? And is the poll gonna be decided? Is it gonna be close? Could be so close. Call your friends. Tell them to get on stream now. This will literally decide it. Not the official decision. If you want to get philosophical, Schrödinger. The result of this poll will determine his life or death. If only. If only. I do like... when I can get my words out. Sorry, it's been a long day. I do like a good close poll on a live stream. So who's live, who's live, who's live? What is going on? Sorry, got on the wrong... That was my fault. Can't blame Phil for that one. Right, we've got no justice, so we're going to no justice. Excellent. Yeah, most of you already know no justice, but I do instruct, highly recommend, insist that you subscribe to the channel once we're raid if you don't already. So that will be it. The time is upon us, and it is a victory, albeit a narrow one, with 35%. You believe that Netanyahu is still alive, unconvinced by evidence to the contrary. 35%. Oh, it's actually a tie. Apologies. It's a tie. It's a draw. Very interesting. So 35% think injured and incapacitated as well. But 30% of you think that he's dead. He's pushing up the daisies. He's gone to meet the choir invisible. He is an ex-genocidal maniac. A late psycho. But no, majority thinking he's either alive or injured, incapacitated. Be interested to know, for those of you who voted injured or incapacitated, if you still think that the things that we've seen are fake, but it's just to cover the fact that he's, you know, whatever, on a drip feed, can't move, is completely comatose, whatever. So that just about wraps up the poll as well as the live stream. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow for the full version of Keith's catchphrases, PMQs, other stories, etc. Thank you very much for joining me on stream. As always, you've been very polite and cordial in the chat. Can't thank you enough for that. Whatever you do with the rest of your evenings, enjoy yourself. Power to the people, free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't watch the news, be the news, and my left eye. We'll be seeing you soon. Good night, people.
The door is open and you can leave.
It's what Hitler and Goering did, and it is textbook. And if you think the next time it happens, we're gonna recognize it because they're wearing scary uniforms, you're out of your damn mind.